But I realized something today. I found out, confirmed, that Riley's never had OG, our generation, Nesquik.
Like the powder? Okay.
Riley's only had the chocolate syrup in like in the ketchup bottle, if you will, in the bottle.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I just scored it into the glass, and I said, "We should get you some Nesquik." And Riley tonight at dinner says, "What is Nesquik?" I'm
Mm.
like, what the bunny on the label?" She goes, "Oh, Fruit Loops? No, 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 I'm not Fruit Loops. Tricks." She goes, "Oh, Tricks? No, no, you know."
Yeah.
And I had to Google a picture. I was like, Nesquik, and Gina's like, "Oh, Nesquik." It's like, we got to go buy this. It's in a yellow container. It's in the
Yes.
powder. Put it in there. Mix it up, right? Oh, God,
I
I miss the 90s.
that was for me a rite of passage because I always thought that you pour the milk in however much milk you want, and then you put like 1, 2 scoops of Nesquik in, and you just stir it up. And now listen, it wasn't chocolate milk as much as it was like milk with like chocolate swirls in it. At least that's how I did it. And listen, I didn't mind that because there's some times where like you'd have like little the Nesquik pockets that like didn't, like
Yeah,
it,
just sitting,
it
floating on
yeah,
top
they're
or
like
something like
floating
that,
on
or
top.
something,
Yeah,
right?
exactly. So they didn't like mix in too well.
Thank you for downloading our recent episode. For more episodes like this, go to movieguyspodcast.podbean.com for more episodes. Enjoy the show.
Welcome everybody to Movie Guys Podcast. I'm going to start this review off with a joke. I sit down with my wife and says, "Hey, we got to review Tin Cup. So let's check it out. I kind of like this movie." Wife says, "Never heard of Tin Cup." I said, "It's okay." We start it. She sees Kevin Costner, sees him, and says,
Mm-hmm.
"Oh, Dennis Quaid. I haven't seen him in a while." And I said, "What?" I said, "That's Kevin Costner. You know, Waterworld, Dances with Wolves, Postman." She goes, "Oh, I like Postman." I said, "You do not like Postman." Today we're talking about Tin Cup. Eric, how the hell are you doing?
I am excited to talk about this one. I don't think I've seen this movie all the way through ever. It
Shocking.
was in that era where I rated our movie in like the mid to late 90s where I don't think I was watching a whole lot of rated R movies. I was probably like 12 at this time. So any rated R movie that I was watching, I was sneaking, and it had to be worthwhile. So it's either going to be like in a hard action movie or like a hard horror movie. And this movie is neither.
Right. Our
So
daughter sat down, our 9-year-old sat down and said, watch this with us. And my wife said, "It's rated R. We can't show this to her." And I said, "Yeah, we kind of can. She's 9 now. They just swear a lot. That's what makes it R." She's like, "Really?" And
yeah,
I was like, "Yeah, for the most part, yeah, they just swear a lot." No.
yeah, and I know a lot of people were talking about that, like the MPAA, AA or whatever, was talking about renegotiating the terms of rating just because of the way the content is available now online. To be like, right, well, if a movie, because PG-13 is only allowed one F-bomb, right, and like only a
Right.
few S words or something like that, and it can't be any sort of like blood,
Or smoking. Something about
violence.
smoking.
Yeah, it's kind of a weird rules that they have, and they thought, all right, well, maybe we can let this up a little bit. I think the big push on that one was A King's Speech, where it's a fantastic film, right? But there's really only one part where, out of frustration, Colin Firth starts just saying the F bombs. He says it like 8 times or something like that, just out of frustration. And then that's it. The rest of the movie is doesn't say it at all. And they gave that movie an R because of that. So it's like, I mean, it's
Yeah.
a good movie in its own right. You don't have to blah blah blah. It's like, well, then you should have redone it then. It's like, well, times are changing, bud. So times are changing. Did this movie hold up?
No, I'm gonna just right off the bat say this did not hit as it did when I was 12, 13 years old. This is that glorious time for you and I where TBS, TNT, and USA were just amazing networks. This is the time where, like, I'm discovering radar movies. This is where I heard of striptease. Oh, what is striptease? This is where, this is when Showgirls is on TV. It's like, oh, Showgirls. I'm not allowed. Die Hard with a Vengeance, Shawshank Redemption. Like these are the movies that are on a lot on these three networks constantly. So, and then Tin Cup. Tin Cup was in this mix too, and I always was excited to see when I was flipping through the channels because it's a rated R movie. I'm not supposed to see it, right? Like that was the draw. I watched all the way through when I was younger, 12, 13 years old, right? It hits different now as an adult, right? Because
absolutely, yeah.
The ending is what I was waiting for as a kid so much. Waiting for him to make that shot, right? Like that's the big thing. Everything else in between doesn't matter. As a kid.
Right.
As a kid, nothing matters. And I will say as an adult, it's reversed kind of now.
Well, yeah. You pay attention to things differently at the age you watch things, right? And I was not paying attention much to the romance part of this movie as a kid, even though it was probably cut for TV or edited or I don't know how I was watching it, honestly. But I didn't watch it all the way through. Watching it now, this movie, I don't want to say that it's a fine mix between sport cliche and rom-com. It seems like it's a very much more of a rom-com than it is a sport movie.
I would agree with you. And you know how we make jokes all the time, right? Where you have movies that clearly there's a bad guy and clearly there's a good guy, and make jokes about how we root for the bad guy, right? Besides one tiny little scene in the movie, I'm straight honest with you. I don't think Don Johnson's the villain in this. I really think it's I think it's Rene Russo.
Man, I agree with you 100%. I don't think Don Johnson is actually like I get he can be kind of a dick at some points, but never once is he like going to set. He's just a dude living his life. He's just a confident golfer. In fact, he's actually nice enough to where he reaches out to Kevin Costner's character and says, "Hey man, I want to give you a job. I see you're down on your luck. I know that you're a skillful guy." Yeah, if anything, Kevin Costner's character, Roy McAvoy, is the bigger dick in this movie, man. He actually kind of sucks the entire way through, so much that nothing for Dr. Molly, played by Rene Russo, by the way, to put her in a good light at all, because she sucks just as bad as he does. She's just attracted to a trash man, basically, and she leaves Don Johnson just because I don't know why. She sees a fixer-upper and feels like she can do something.
Well, even that old stripper lady even says, "I know why you're with Kevin Costner, because you're trying to fix him." Like, no, I mean, like, she literally is the villain to me. And of course, afterwards, I watched the movie, and my wife's like, "Oh, you're being funny, like Barney from How I Met Your Mother." It's like, no, I was like, okay, look, Don Johnson just played 18 holes of golf, goes off, right? And he has this old couple, which is Kevin Costner's parents, by the way, behind the scenes.
Oh, the one with the kid, right?
With the kid, yeah, and that's their grandkid too, and that's Kevin Costner's parents. And they're like, "Hey, autograph." He's like, "No, I'm a mean guy, blah, but after he's good." And my wife says, "Okay, but that shows that he's mean." I was like, "No. Don Johnson is a putz. I'm not gonna say the word because I can't, because we're a PG-13 show. But he's a term where he's okay sharing the wealth."
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like, what? Okay, straight thought. I would never, ever allow my wife or girlfriend to go to a guy who I know is to be a womanizer and just completely be alone with him at all times. Like, I mean,
yeah.
I mean, like, Don Johnson's totally cool with it. It freaks me out. I'm sorry, I gotta get a straighter thought than this. But it's just like, Like, this guy's cheated on him. It's right off the bat.
Well, I don't know if there's something that we're missing out of this, but Don Johnson's character, David Sims, does seem very confident and very narcissistic. I don't know if the two are indistinguishable from the other, the way that he's playing it, but at the same part, it's almost like he's not really bothered because he's just like telling Roy, like, I dare you, dude. Go ahead. I want you to. Like, there's a rivalry between them where he constantly is just like, this guy, he doesn't respect Roy enough to where he thinks like he's just gonna screw it up like he does everything else, man. Like, go ahead, give it a shot. Like, I'm living a better life. I'm obviously the winner, man. I don't know what you're gonna bring to the table, so whatever. The other part of it too, I think that they haven't been seeing each other for too long. It sounds like,
right.
and I had said this in my private conversations earlier. There was always a question that, like, who is an actor or actress? It's a common internet question that everyone seems to find very attractive, but you're just like, what? I disagree. And for me, that's Rene Russo. I don't understand how she got the parts that she got as in the 90s or whatever, whether it be like in Lethal Weapon, right? Or like, what's it, Ransom? A lot of those are kind of action-y, kind of, or whatever stuff. Or this movie. What else was she like? Oh, Major League. Yeah, she's been in some sport movies here.
That's why I want to kind of, because right now I'm
Outbreak.
looking her up. Go ahead, sorry.
I just never understood, like, what... She's an intimidating person. I get that. Like, she was a Nightcrawler. I get that. But I just never understood, like, what the appeal was. It does seem that in more movies than one, this one being the one, that you have a character complimenting her legs. So is that what it is? You're telling me that a good set of legs are going to carry you this far in Hollywood in the 90s? Oh, well.
I guess so, because I thought Rene Russo was in a lot of stuff, and as you were talking, I was looking her up on IMDb. She is in a lot of stuff, but the credits that everybody would know would be, well, this one was a success, but then also Get Shorty, and then the Lethal Weapon movies. And if you want to count Two for the Money with Al Pacino, Matthew McConaughey, maybe. But like,
I mean, Thomas Crown Affair. Obviously, everyone in the world knows her from as Natasha from Rocky and Bullwinkle movie. Right.
Right.
I mean, come on.
So we're talking about her because a movie starts out with this down-and-out golf pro, Rory McIlroy, which sounds like Roy McIlroy, right?
It really does.
So I'm
It was
curious.
hard to get to change it actually in my head.
I'm curious if the parents were like, hey, wait a minute. Let's call our son Isaiah Thomas, too. Right?
So I don't know if that was a surprise coincidence or
Right.
what was going on
Because
there.
it sounds like a golfer name, right? Because you got names that sound like NASCAR names, right? And you got guys that sound like golfers. But
Well,
Roy
it does now, yeah.
Roy McIlroy is a down and out golfer, and he has this driving range in the middle of the desert with Cheech. We haven't seen him since Cheech and Chong, right? Cheech and Chong, sorry. We haven't seen him in a while, and he's just a nobody. He's a loser. He has no money. And then all of a sudden, this pretty little thing with long legs, Rene Russo, shows up and says, "Teach me how to play golf." She was there clearly as a plant, because the next scene is Don Johnson, Nash Bridges himself, coming up and saying, "Hey, I got a caddy job for you." I mean, right? Because that was the whole point of this first setup. Or am I wrong? What? Because the next scene was Don Johnson. She was there to scope it out.
No, I think because it was called out earlier, or maybe soon after this scene, where either Roy or someone on his team said, "Oh, I think it was Roy." He said, "Oh, let me guess, you have a boyfriend golfer, and you're doing this to try to impress or get in his world a little bit." So that's what I clearly thought that it was. It wasn't that she was trying to be some sort of spy here to say, "Hey, let me see what you got," just because David Sims asks him to be a caddy, so he's obviously not threatened by him whatsoever. he has him pegged, and he's obviously correct very much to say, like, you're a great golfer, but you're a terrible person, and you're not disciplined. You're a man-child who has never grown up. And he's right. The guy doesn't even learn a lesson at the end of the movie. He just gets a girl, and that's it.
No, he learns less. I actually will disagree with you on that she was on a plant, because clearly Kevin.
For what reason?
Okay, I'll tell you. So
Go ahead.
clearly Kevin Costner and Don Johnson have a history, right? So college, I mean, but they have a history, right? So she shows up because her boyfriend is a golfer. Fine, I'll go with it, right? So she goes home later that night, and he's like, "Hey, honey, how did it go at the driving range?" And she's like, "Oh, I met this man named Roy McIlroy. He was very handsy, Roy McIlroy. Oh, I gotta teach him a lesson." You see what I'm saying? Like, because the next scene is him showing up. So I'm not saying that she's there to be a plant, I guess is the bad word, but maybe Don Johnson was like, "Hey, you want to learn how to golf? Check out this driving range. There's this guy that I know. See what he's about. See what he's like nowadays. See if he needs help."
He shows up because he's offering Roy a job as a caddy, and he chooses him particularly because they are on a course for whatever charity tournament that they're doing, and he knows that Roy and him used to play on this course all the time in college, and that he has, I think, the course record or shot like some sort of miraculous score.
Kevin Costner does?
Yeah.
Okay.
Dave Sims, Don Johnson knows that Kevin Costner knows the course better than anybody. So he's like, "I want you to caddy for me so that you can give me, obviously, the tips, that you know the course better than anybody." So he's clearly doing it just to get the advantage. It wasn't a spy thing. I think that he's just in town for the tournament or is close to it, and that's the closest driving range. And I think Dr. Molly heard that, oh, there's this pro or this guy who's like the best teacher. He's a prodigy. He's or savant. I don't know. He's a gifted golfer, and he's giving out lessons, and they're probably real cheap because, well, why wouldn't they be? He's in a desert, a Texas desert, Alamo, whatever, where there's nothing going on there. So she's going out there real quick in the middle of the night.
Yeah, which I find weird too.
lessons.
See what I'm saying? It's kind of weird, right? I'm not saying, when I say that I feel that she's a plant, I don't think anything was malicious. I think that Don Johnson was going to the course, and he knew that Roy would help him with the course. So he sent his girlfriend just to see where Roy is in life. Would Roy even take the caddy job? Like,
I think,
you know what I mean? Come back and tell me.
I see your logic. I am saying that is a stretch and giving this movie way too much credit.
Hey, maybe I am, but that's how I always saw it before. That's how I see it now. Roy, go ahead.
This is where the director Ron Shelton comes in and shuts me up and says, "No, Jordan's right, 100%."
Are you serious? Are you looking it up?
No.
Okay.
Again, this is the same director, by the way, who has done White Man Can't Jump, who did Bull Durham. He did Cobb. Remember that Ty Cobb movie with Tommy Lee Jones? He wrote Blue Chips, one of your favorites.
The show?
The movie, 1994 Blue Chips.
Oh, it's a movie. Okay. Where's Kevin Costner at this point in his career? Because he was the man of the 90s, right? So I'm looking at this right here. He's interested. I'm sorry, he's interesting. So you got Wyatt Earp, you got The Bodyguard before this. You have Waterworld the year before this. And after Waterworld was Tin Cup.
Yeah.
And then after Tin Cup, he follows up with The Postman, which Gina remembers, and then Message in a Bottle, which Gina hates, and then For Love of the Game, and so on and so forth. But, yeah, so this was towards the end of his career.
I think this movie was a bit of a mix. He's obviously friends with Ron Shelton after doing Bull Durham, right? So he did that rom-com already. He's already established himself as a heartthrob at this point. He's done the dramas. He's done the Untouchables, right? He's done the sport movies with Bull Durham, Field of Dreams, and he's done the Oscar movies, Dances with Wolves, right? JFK. He's done the big movies, Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, Bodyguard. Those are the heartthrob movies. And then he's obviously just well-rounded at this point. I think that Tin Cup was a movie where it was his break. It was a movie where he doesn't have to do a whole lot of action, a movie where he doesn't have to do a whole lot of costume. I think it's a fun role for him. I think he's just like, oh, I don't have to do any of this research for a character like Wyatt Earp, or any sort of serious kind of role like A Perfect World or like The War, right? Whereas all this was before he did this. I think Tin Cup was just like, hey, listen, come with us to, where was it? They filmed like in Arizona or something like that, I think.
Okay.
Somewhere where it's warm. We're going to play golf for 4 months of shooting, however long this thing took. And that sounds like a vacation to me.
Yeah, because 90% of the shots that you see him take are actually him, right? So he is a golfer. But, you know, you left out one other thing that he forgot to bring to this, acting. I feel at 41 years old in his life right now, this is Kevin Costner. Because we did the math when he was born and when this movie was made. He's 41 years old. He's around our age at this point. And
Yeah.
I believe this is him. He's set in his ways. He is a man-child. He has not learned a single lesson. And he screws everything up for pride, bragging rights. But, you know, at the end of the movie, somebody says it. Somebody. Tell me if I'm wrong. Somebody says it that nobody will remember who won the U.S. Open 5-6 years from now. But everybody will remember the shot.
Yeah, Dr. Molly says that.
Dr. Marley says that. Let's talk about Renee Russo. What a horrible doctor she is. She's a shrink.
Yep.
So she shows up late at night at a driving range, right, and gets lessons. Not very good lessons, I may add. Sexual harassment, probably. Nowadays.
Yeah, definitely.
Nowadays, probably. And we find out in the middle of the movie through their arguments that she just got licensed as a therapist. She doesn't know much about therapy, and
Yeah, she's new to the industry.
because she used to be a real estate agent. Why make her a doctor? Make her a real estate agent. I believe Renee Russo as a real estate agent more than a therapist. She looks
Yeah.
like a real estate agent.
I believe that the only point to making her a shrink is just to help, I guess, Roy a bit more, question mark. God, he's now who's reaching, right?
Right, because in the movie she's like, "Oh, my practice is good. I'm going to be helping every guy on the tour."
Yeah, which makes no sense. He's obviously just playing well enough to where people are just like, oh, well, if he's playing well and he's got the shrink must be the answer there.
Right. So, all of our conspiracy theories aside, the movie tells us that Don Johnson wants Roy to be his caddy. He becomes his caddy. Kevin Costner becomes Don Johnson's caddy to help him win this course, and they just have issues, right? Anytime that Roy says, hey, you should use this club, Don has an issue. Hey, do this, Don has an issue, blah, 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 right? To the point to where we have to do, forgive me for saying the douchebaggery thing of Kevin Costner has to prove his worth by doing a shot, right? Making a shot that's impossible to make.
Yeah. Yeah, well, yeah, geez, after they describe, and this is, I guess, the gift of knowing golf a lot more since maybe first watching this movie, is that they're speaking in terms where I can understand now. I get a lot of the lingo, and so when,
Sure.
they say that they're on a par 5 or wherever they're at this point, and they were, what did they say, like 270 or 280 away?
Yes, they were 270 away.
Fair. Yeah, and he has to shoot it over a water hazard onto the green with a 3-wood.
And he's like, I'll take that bet. Let's go. And then he proves that he did it. He made a great shot. You would think that would make Don Johnson happy, but no. He's just like, hey, I'm going to pick up some random guy. You're now my caddy. Roy, you're fired because you're smug.
Yeah, you're showing me up.
But he's just doing a shot. That's okay, though. Don Johnson, not the villain.
You're right. Well, Don Johnson says, I'm trying to... He's in the lead.
Right.
Don Johnson is, right? And he already, Roy that is, put a voice into Don's partner, right? Saying that you don't have enough club in that, or you should do that, or whatever. So he shoots, gets it in the drink. And David Sims says, all right, I'm just going to lay up. That's a smart move. That's what you should do. You're in the lead.
Right.
Right? No one's going to argue that. But Roy, and this is the big part where these two together are literally drive for show, one, putt for dough, the other. It's plain as day, where one guy is basically like a pre-Happy Gilmore, where he just wants to make a show, where the other guy is just like, it doesn't matter how you win, buddy, as long as you win. Like, it doesn't have to be pretty.
It doesn't matter if you win by a second or 10 seconds. Winning is winning.
It doesn't matter if you win by a foot or a mile.
There you go. That's the line. I was trying to make you happy.
Oh, you made me happy, but anytime you quote Toretto, I'm going to, you're like family.
But the Busta brought me back. So, these two are just oil and water together. But see, again, this is where Don Johnson's not the villain. You are right. Don Johnson's like, Kevin Costner, shut up. Don't tell my competitor that I don't have enough club on this, bud. Just shut your mouth.
You know what helps, too, is to show that Don Johnson isn't the bad guy here, is the way that Roy treats his friends. Like, they're your friends, buddy. They're trying to help you out. They're here supporting you. They're in your corner, man. And you just treat them like dog crap the entire movie. Poor Cheech.
Oh, God, yeah. Okay, so then what kind of stirs the plot along is that Roy has a harebrained idea that he's going to qualify for the Open. So he has to win a semi-qualifying and something else to get an invitation to be in the U.S. Open.
A regional and a qualifier or something like that.
And in the qualifier, I believe, maybe the regional, I think it was the qualifier, this is where the famous, Cheech is trying. He's like, hey, bud, don't do what you want to do. Lay it up, don't do that. This is where they break the clubs, which, by the way, you have golfed, I have golfed. I never, would break a club because they're expensive, but those things are hard to break.
Yeah, I was like, wow, what are those clubs made of, man? That aluminum? Like,
well, probably. I have my grandfather's old clubs, and his woods are made out of wood.
Wood?
Yeah. Hence the name. Not the whole thing, but the head of it, is made out of. Yeah, these guys are just snapping everything, and then all he has left in his bag is his trusty 7. And he's going to win it all with the trusty 7 without a caddy.
Yeah, well, you don't need one if you're just walking around with the same club, right?
Right. See, this is where this movie gets fantastical, right? This is where the non-belief comes into play. This very grounded movie, right? There's no way this guy wins with a 7-iron every step of the way. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, I would think that you're going to be put into a position sooner or later where a 7-iron ain't going to get you out of that. But he does it out of a sand trap. He does it backwards putting, right? He does it off of a drive, off of a fairway. Like, he is... if that's the case, then why not do that for everything, man? Holy cow! If you're hitting that good of a score, then bring that to the open.
Yeah, he's even laying on the ground pretending he's shooting pool to putt a ball in. He has to break some rules, right? Because you have to qualify to.
That was different. That was to get the golf clubs because he didn't even have a bag of golf clubs.
Yeah, that's the whole scene.
Yeah, I remember he made a bet that with the guys, like, I'll bet you a bag of golf clubs that I can beat you with a bunch of these gardening tools.
That's right. That's actually a fun scene, right? Like, okay, so that's a few scenes prior to what we're discussing, but he pawned his golf clubs. So he has to get the money to get his golf clubs back. And then and then he goes and meets a guy. Clearly everybody knows Kevin Costner at this point as a hustler, right? And he says, "I'll beat you with gardening tools." And he does. Now that's fun. That put a smile on my face. Oh, that's funny. That is a gardening rake, and he is putting with a gardening rake. Great. Showing us that this guy's the Tiger Woods of golf before Tiger Woods? 96?
Yeah, buddy, I have seen this actually because as a kid, I mean, I can relate to this. I saw this move on a little TV show called Wild and Crazy Kids. Where I don't know what the challenge was. Obviously, it was golf related, but for the final move, the kid went a tin cup. Basically, he went on the ground and he did a pull shot in, and I thought it was just kind of like, I don't know. If I was competing that, I'd be pissed because it was like I didn't know you could do that. Like if that was the case, I much trust my pool game over my golf game and putting, but. Whatever. I remember it was the kid won. It was a big deal. Everyone rushed the field. It was great. Oh my God, he won. Pink team won. Whatever.
Pink team won.
You know, like, but that's what level of silly that is. I mean, granted, he's already driving with a shovel and a baseball bat. So
yeah, it's amazing, right? He's just like, all right, here we go, and he flips it up and he hits it to him. It's crazy. Like, that's every rule of golf. Now, there is some scenes that I did skip because my 9-year-old was watching it with us. This was our first rated R movie. And he goes to, the sign says exotic dancers, and my wife goes, help! So I just skipped. There's no nudity in this movie, is there? I didn't see it because I had to skip.
No, there's some side boob, but no, there's no nudity.
No, okay. Because there was another scene prior. The reason I'm bringing it up is because we watch, he's talking, Kevin Costner's talking to the older lady, and there's a bunch of exotic dancers walking around with thongs, and their butt cheeks were showing. And my wife goes, help! So I skimmed, fast forward real quick. And then, I say to my wife, I said, would you rather breast or butt cheeks? And she goes, butt cheeks. I was like, okay. But nothing that, again, the reason I'm asking this question is for a legitimate reason. Nothing with nudity deserves to give this movie an R rating, so it's literally just them dropping F-bombs. That's it, right?
Yeah, okay. Pretty much.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So now...
I wouldn't think there's anything contact-wise that would show... Oh, well, there's a sex scene in there, but it's more so
I skimmed that, yeah.
Yeah, it's just him on top of Rene Russo with the blanket over him and doing some heavy breathing. That's about it.
All right, so no man
and
butt.
Some comments, where he makes a golf joke.
Oh, I didn't see because I skipped. What was the golf joke? Do you remember?
Oh, they do the sex. They do the thing.
That's a hole-in-one.
They're, I guess, recovering from whatever that was, and he is just like, he was apologizing for some reason. He says, oh, well, can I get a mulligan? She's like, what's a mulligan? He's like, well, let me show you. You just stay right there.
Nice.
And, yeah, it was just kind of like, all right, well.
Going for round two.
Yeah, it was definitely was awkward. Because, again, it feels like I just wanted to, knock on the door and be like, Dr. Molly, what are you doing, girl? Like, what?
Yeah, she's, yeah.
What are you doing? Like, your decisions in life are bad. You're doing bad.
Well, let's again, we're jumping over the place. I don't know if this is the next scene or whatever, but they're at, are they at the U.S. Open? Or are they before the U.S. Open? But he's with his friends celebrating with a beer, and Don Johnson shows up. And they have this, measuring stick contest, right? Where
Yes.
where Kevin Costner's
That's right, you're right.
where he says, "Hey, you have to hit the ball farther than me." He hits a regular shot, and then Don Johnson says, "Okay, I'm going to turn to the left here," and just hits it down the road, and it keeps on going. Haha, funny joke. But Kevin Costner bet his car.
Yeah.
So this is where, so the whole point of it is, of me telling you this now, because I agree with you. What are you doing, Rene Russo? Because she shows up at Kevin Costner's house the next day with the car. And she's like, hey, Don Johnson wasn't serious. He just wanted to take your car to prove a point. But I don't have a car because I'm giving it to you, so you got to drive me back. And he's like, okay, I'm not going to creepily take you to a creek bed and make you fall in love with me. That's not going to happen.
That was
that-
so strange because, like, he takes her to that creek bed. He's drinking, like, a pint of, like, Fireball or something like that.
Yeah.
And she's very much just kind of like, no, we shouldn't be doing this. And he gets uncomfortably close, and it's like, I could smell the whiskey on your breath, dude.
Yeah.
It's not sexy at all for you just to come up and be like, well, maybe I should just
In the 90s, it probably was.
I with his dirty wife beater and the same khaki pants that he's been wearing the entire movie. Yeah,
Maybe in the 90s. I mean, like,
All right.
I mean,
whatever. Hey, listen, that's gonna work for someone out there, I'm sure.
I don't understand why people are wearing pants. I mean, it's 86 degrees here in Ohio, and I'm wearing gym shorts and a tank top. These guys are wearing pants and polos. It's like, oh my God, they're in Texas, for God's sakes, are they not?
Yeah, I see everyone else in his crew, by the way, that are like in tank tops and
Right.
bathing suits, I would imagine. Linen, like just a button down where the top 3 buttons are undone, and a cowboy hat. That's about it. And they all are just sweating, glistening, right? Just
I do like
looking
his
like
crew.
they are wet.
I
Oh, yeah.
I like his entire crew. I like the jokes. I like when Cheech is, what Don Johnson or was it Rene Russo makes a comment about the pool and says, I like the little kiddie pool, and says, hot tub, and he's like, no, spa. Like, that's something that,
Yeah.
like that me and my friends and I would have said in college, right? Where, like, we have nothing. All we have is beer at this point, and that's literally what he has in this movie.
There's a lot of good jokes
Yeah.
in here. I will say that, and I will also say that this movie is so damn 90s, man. The way that it starts with just like a silly song kind of a thing, Armadillo going across like the wasteland kind of a thing, of where we're gonna be at. There was even, I think it was Mickey Jones who plays Turk in the crew, singing like some sort of golf parody country song kind of a thing,
Of course. I mean, this movie screams Marlboros and line dancing.
Yeah, exactly.
It does. So now Roy is in the U.S. Open, right? The biggest golf tournament there is, and he shoots a miserable 83. Now, to guys like me and you, an 83 is Tiger Woods.
I wish, man.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, like that's bragging rights right there. That's what you say to your family during Thanksgiving dinner. You won't believe what I did
Yeah.
in September. I shot an 83.
Yeah, keep that scorecard and show everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Dang, man. Oh, by the way, as I was looking, originally it was 230 yard, not 270s in the original. When Roy was caddying, I just want to make that correction because, 40 yards is a pretty big difference.
Yeah, I mean, God forbid if we, sum it up a little bit, God forbid we're reviewing Tin Cup here. I mean, come on now.
All the other movies, I don't care. We get the details wrong, and we do. We butcher
do.
names.
We
We
do.
butcher directors. We butcher everyone who is a part of it. Story. Don't worry about it. But I'll be damned, Jordan, if we get a single thing wrong in Tin Cup.
No, yeah, 100%. Like, if I was a fan of Movie Guys podcast and it's a Thursday and I'm like, hey, what did the guys review today? Tin Cup.
Yeah.
I mean,
hey, honey, gather the kids around. I know what we're listening to
right.
while we're having dinner, and it's going to be these two guys talking about Tin Cup.
Tin Cup.
That's a Saturday night.
That is a Saturday night. So Roy gets to the 18th hole, the infamous 18th hole where everybody drives off the green and everybody is in the middle of the fairway and everybody lays up because there is a water hazard completely in front of the green. You got some sand traps, but nobody has ever had the guts to shoot from the middle of the fairway over onto the green. Everybody has to lay up, right? That's the thing.
Yeah. The angle that it's at, it may as well be an island green.
Right. And
it's close to it.
And you know what? We said, that, like Renee's the bad guy, maybe Kevin Costner. Cheech is not a bad guy, but man, he's not. He's just not smart. I mean, I can't even describe to you the scene because Kevin Costner and Cheech break the clubs because Kevin Costner's trying to prove a point. His point is invalid. And then later on, he gets to the U.S. Open and he goes to Cheech. He's like, hey, bud, I forgot the line, blah, blah, blah. And Cheech is like, I'll be your caddy. And then the next scene, Cheech is telling him something and Kevin Costner's agreeing with him. All right, I'm going to calm down here. This is Happy Gilmore at this point, right? I mean, this is straight up.
I would say Happy Gilmore is a bit more of an entertaining movie. And I don't know what point I was watching it where I was like, why aren't we reviewing Happy Gilmore? Why aren't we reviewing any other golf movie? Caddyshack.
This was on the list. I don't know. You came. I don't know, bud.
I feel like those were easy grabs. I feel like everyone else has done that, and it's like, well, we're gonna. We've talked so well about other sports movies. Let's tear this one apart.
Well, it boggles my mind, that these two hated each other for a minute, and then all of a sudden, he's just Kevin Costner's like, "Hey, bud, I need you," and Cheech is like, "Okay, let's go." And you're gonna listen to me? He's like, "Yes, I am, because I have a girlfriend now, and I'm gonna listen to everything my girlfriend has to say for the rest of the movie, besides the last 10 minutes."
That's right there a big part of why Rene Russo is probably the bad guy. We had seen glimpses here of Roy becoming a more disciplined golfer, right? Laying up, taking the smart shot, something like that, or listening to Romeo. So on the first part of this, he has a bad shot. He gets it in the water. But you know what? He listens. Take the drop. Play. Good. Okay, we're moving on. But in the fourth round, right?
The last round,
the last round. So final round is, and again, we're obviously moving up to it. But even before that, the other rounds, I think you had, no, it was definitely the last round, where Rene Russo, where Molly was just like, go for it. And everyone is saying like, no, you should lay up. Like you have a shot to win. You could go, mate. You could play for birdie and win, right? And then par, you tie or something like that.
Par, you tie, and then you go sudden death with Don Johnson, because the last round is him versus Don Johnson, right? The two mortal enemies.
No. It was not Don Johnson. It was the guy in front of him.
You're right. It was not. So Don Johnson was not doing well at all, so he wasn't going to be in the sudden death. You're right. Thank you.
Yeah.
It was going to be against some rando.
Card.
It was going to be some rando.
Yeah, they're both on the chase card and playing the guy in front of them. And yeah, it's like you have the chance to win, to maybe make a career of this and get back into it. But this is where that machismo gets in the way, where somebody called Marty McFly a chicken and he can't back down.
They do that in this movie. They call Don Johnson a chicken, and that's what makes Don Johnson turn around to do the I'm going to screw with your trick shot of going down the road.
Respect to him, because I feel like that's really what Roy needed, because this guy is so cocky that Don Johnson's just like, listen, man, I gave you the out. I don't want to embarrass you. Like, you're doing this to yourself, kind of a thing. He's like, no, what? You call me, you want to do? Let's go, chicken. And really just stepping up to it, really letting his hubris get in the way of everything, right? And he's like, fine. All right, man, if you want this, then I'll give it to you. And that was a hard lesson. That's the other part, too, is that Roy has so many of these hard lessons that are given to him, and he doesn't seem to learn a damn thing from them.
Hard lessons that any person, hence me or you, would learn from and try to become better men about it. He just forgets about it. He loses his car, and then the next day, the girlfriend, who's not the girlfriend, who's still with Don Johnson, shows up at Kevin Costner's house and is just like, hey, here's your car back. Like,
yeah,
absolutely crazy, right? And then during the U.S. Open, like, she's clearly screwing him, and Don Johnson's just like, okay. I mean,
well, obviously he can just find a new one and
right, but it's just
no problem.
It's just so did he even love her? That's a whole nother wormhole we can get into.
I could have swore that they were just like a new kind of a thing, and Dr. Molly wanted to learn golf to kind of surprise him a bit. But no, I thought they were pretty much, they weren't like a serious thing. They were just kind of like,
they were dating.
My new girlfriend, they were just kind of starting out and everything. And listen, I'm not, I think that she's just a horrible person. And I've known people like this. I think we all can relate to know a person like this, whether it be a female or male, where they are like, they have a good thing going, but for some reason they are just like, yeah, well, I keep on going back to this time in college where I knew some people. I won't use names, obviously. I won't even use, but one person was seamlessly started this new relationship with this other person, and like, that was a good person. Like, they had their crap together. They were on the straight and narrow. Like, everything was looking good. Like, you want to be with that person. That's the person you want to be with. But garbage person that this other person was, kept on going back to like an ex or going to like a party and just kind of being a dirt person, and ultimately killed that relationship. And it's just like, what are you doing? Why are you like this?
What is the lesson the movie's telling us, though, right? Because clearly she has money. She's well off. She's dating another guy, Don Johnson, who's well off. And she's just smitten by a guy who says to her, are you going to pay me in cash? I have an IRS thing.
So,
like, what is it?
There was a moment in the movie, because I know that, again, Dr. Molly's talking with the stripper ex-girlfriend Doreen, and the stripper has more brains than her, and saying like,
I agree.
First off, he owes me money. He owes me $12,000, by the way. So that's already should be a red flag. So many red flags.
Oh yeah.
But it seemed like, what was it that she said something like, I don't know, he doesn't know when to quit, or doesn't know something like that, and Dr. Molly's like, I've never been with somebody like that before. And just like, is this the time to try at age 40? Is to be like, oh, you know what? I think I'm going to, after changing my career 2 or 3 times, I think I'm going to go ahead and go with a piece of crap person who doesn't know when to say quit.
Who lives in a Winnebago. They made that clear.
Lives in a Winnebago, yeah.
They made that clear multiple times. She doesn't know I live in a Winnebago. No, yeah, I mean, she's toxic, right? Because, like, at the end of the movie, everybody's telling him not to do the shot. He does the shot. He gets it on the green, but then, the golfing gods say no, and it rolls back into the water. At this point, Renee Russo is doing her Renee Russo-isms and is laughing hysterically, saying, just go ahead, Roy. Ha, 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 ha. Just go
Who
ahead.
cares, Roy?
Just do it, Roy. Now, clearly she's being sarcastic. She's going crazy because she can see at this point, in my opinion, that Roy is ruining his chances of winning this thing. So she's just going, screw it up, Roy.
Yeah.
Go ahead, screw it up. It's just
Yeah.
crazy.
Whether there's some deeper level here where they're trying to think like, Roy, you're not doing it for them. You're doing it for you.
Yeah. So that's the
That
lesson.
really made clear.
Yeah, because that's the lesson of this movie is that he's not this. This isn't like Iron Will, right, where he has to win at the end, right? This is where he's going to lose, but he's going to win knowing that he's the only one that's made this shot.
Yeah, exactly.
And, I mean, I would agree, right? Like, people are not going to remember that no-name guy who they were chasing won the U.S. Open, but they're going to remember 10 years from now that, Tin Cup won didn't win, but he got the shot. And that's what people are going to talk about.
Look at like what movies we've done where they didn't win at the end. It'd be Tin Cup,
Cool Runnings.
It'd be Cool Runnings, and Rocky, right?
There you go. I mean, Cool Runnings is more of a standard to this one, right? Because
Sure.
there's no way that there's no way that the Cool Runnings guy was gonna beat the Swedes. Just like there's
No,
no
of
way
course not.
that Kevin Costner was going to beat random golfer guy. But it was fun. It was entertaining. But man, did I feel it too, right? So he did like 6 shots, and then like I love the announcers. He is 12 over. He is 12 over par with this shot, or something like that, right? Something crazy. And
Yeah, it was 12.
and it's just like, oh my God, you're not at a driving range, bud. But he makes the shot. Everybody's talking about it. Nobody cares about the guy who won. And what is he doing after this movie? The same thing he was doing at the beginning of this movie. At the end of this movie, he's doing the beginning. He's at his driving range drinking a beer. And now Rene Russo is going to be pregnant with 3 kids smoking marbles. Just
Texas, Lone Star, baby.
that's what's
So she is like really hyping this guy up. So at the end, she does just like you said that big thing where it's like it doesn't matter if you win, no one cares, or you get to know your name many years down the line. Like, oh, who won this Open? No one cares. They're gonna be talking about this. What you did was legendary. And listen, it probably was, to her credit. She's right. Anyway, after this happens, we get to them back in Texas, and Molly is just loving Roy, and she reminds him that, hey, because of your score or whatever, you automatically qualify for next year's Open. So if that's supposed to be some sort of open door ending to her being like, oh yeah, we'll get him next year. Well, I'll tell you right now, as a Lions fan, I know that story. Okay, next year always happens, and
Right.
it never goes the way you want it to.
right, but he's going to go on to win next year because he's already got the shot. So now, when he goes for Tin Cup 2, he's just going to lay up because he already
would
made the
think-
shot.
You would think because that's the nicer ending, but everything that I've gotten from this movie tells me that he doesn't learn a damn thing.
Yeah,
And-
yeah.
He got the shot and he got the girl, and it's like, that's all you really wanted. There's that moment where halfway in the movie, right, where he's just kind of like, oh, I want to get this girl. I never wanted it so bad. Oh, and it's like, well, maybe she's a doctor. Maybe you go talk to her. And it's like, you can't be serious, Roy. You're not going to go talk to the shrink about getting together with the shrink. Well, why not?
This is the 90s.
thing.
Men don't share their feelings.
Yeah, so he does a typical kind of 90s therapy thing where the guy walks in and is like, well, how does this work? How do you fix me?
Right.
He's just like, it's been 2 minutes into our session here, Roy. Like,
And
it doesn't work like that.
And he just showed up. He didn't make an appointment, so she didn't know that he was there. And he was just like, oh,
Yeah.
this lady's crying in this crying room. I don't understand. And,
So
we're gonna.
what do I do if I like a woman, but she's with another man, and I think she's real pretty, and I really want to be with her, and you make me feel things I never done felt before. I don't know why I'm adding this accent, because it's more of an accent than Kevin Costner will ever give any of his characters.
No, absolutely agree. And then and at this point too, this is when Rene Russo doesn't realize that he's talking about her. She's a doctor. And it's just like anybody could have called that one out. And then after their fight, he leaves and he goes, this random lady, still crying in the crying room. It just, it hurts.
There were funny moments in this movie. I will give him that. Like something like that was pretty funny. I think that a lot of Cheech and the gang, a lot of their commentary was pretty funny. The Don Johnson lesson that he gives him, right, where he shoots the golf ball on the road and it keeps on going, that's cheeky. That's funny as well too. Especially it's like golf humor right there, right?
Sure. No,
it's absolutely some sort of golf humor. I get that, and those are the moments I think I enjoyed more because Rene Russo's character really took me out a lot of this movie. I would have liked to have seen maybe a bit more. I don't know if it was just golf silliness, but then you're turning that into like a Caddyshack or Happy Gilmore at that point, right?
Right. So then, Eric, I'm kind of curious. What is your popcorn rating for Tin Cup? Curious.
I think I want to give this a small, but I enjoyed parts of this movie. I really did. But the parts that I enjoyed were more of the golf-centric. This is a sport retrospective that we're doing. I enjoyed the sport aspect of this movie. I did not enjoy the rom-com parts of this movie. Well, I enjoyed the com, not the rom, I shall say. I didn't think that the relationship between Roy and Dr. Molly were really believable, but at the same part, like, this movie is in, like, that silly era of 90s ridiculousness to where it's just supposed to be some filler, man. It's just supposed to be some sugar on your teeth and don't worry about it. We're here for a long time, for a short time, not a long time. This movie, actually, never mind. It's a 2-hour, 15-minute movie. So, a little bit longer than that. It's not what it's supposed to be. I guess it is fun, but like you said, it's made for like a TV movie. Like it's made to like cut up and chop into like 3 hours on a Sunday afternoon on TBS kind of a thing. We didn't even talk about the other bet where after he shoots the atrocious round, where I think another bet was given if he could shoot from the clubhouse through the door wall over the water and hit a pelican off of a pole or something like that. Right.
And because of because he has to do that shot with the pelican, it's all male machismo. I'm going to show you that I'm better than you. Always betting. And I'm actually surprised you are giving this one a small. I'm surprised.
I really think that if there was less Rene Russo in here, then a little bit more golf, or you know what you could do, actually leave Rene Russo's character in there altogether, but take out entirely Linda Hart's character, the stripper Doreen.
Oh, good point. Okay.
I think you could probably take her out altogether. I think the only purpose that she has is to maybe, I don't even know, because like at the end, Romeo, like that's who's he's pursuing, but it doesn't add anything to either character. It doesn't add anything to the story. It just kind of wraps up and makes a nice little bow at the end of the movie. You don't need that whatsoever. Take her out altogether. You could have a bit more backstory with Romeo about why he's doing there. Is he a golf pro? Is he someone that had just like, whereas Tin Cup can golf like a madman, can Romeo make golf clubs? Is he like the guru that just knows something that Tin Cup doesn't, kind of a thing? They don't really expand on that a bit more.
Good
I
point.
wouldn't mind if there was a bit more of a hustle in this. Like, we only get to see maybe one actual hustle, but other than that, like, it's hard to see Roy going around and really, like, who wants to bet? Who wants to bet? Who wants to bet? It's just like, buddy, like, you have a reputation for this kind of thing, but if we were to see like maybe more of that, then I think this movie would be fun, especially like if it was actual, like do like a closest to the pin kind of a thing, or driving contest or a long putt contest. I bet you I could putt that thing. Well, Roy, that's 100 feet away downhill. So yeah, I bet you I can do it. And kind of a fun little things like that, little stuff like that, without it being too ridiculous.
The strippers
I think that
here.
would add more to the movie.
The strippers here because the writers are like, he's a single guy and he drinks a lot of beer. Well, he has no strippers. I mean, that's stereotype. That's the only reason why she's here.
Just to add some TNA into the movie, I guess.
No, not
but-
even that. 'Cause she's not attractive. It just be, like she's there because that's what single guys do. And when single guys drink beer, and when they go to strip clubs, they talk to strippers and they tell the strippers their most deepest, darkest thoughts. That's why she is the magical stripper that knows things that Rene Russo does not. See?
I mean, because okay, I get you.
Tell me I'm wrong.
You're not.
That's
But
exactly
the
why.
reason that I see in the movie is just because they're broke, and they're just like, I'll tell you what, I'll sell you the driving range, and they use that to make money, or something like that. Like, that's what it was. Oh no, they use it to call their deal square, or either way.
It's weird.
Like, how about you take that out all together, right? And then that way you can give Romeo his character a bit more by trying to go around and solicit money or hustle money for Roy a bit more to get him sponsored or to have the entry fee or whatever he needs to get. That would be a bit more entertaining than just going to a strip club and be like, hey, darling, remember that money that I owed you? Well, how about I sell you this? Hey, darling, ain't nobody want that dang sand trap.
Literally.
Little joke there. Yeah.
It's no. I mean, like, younger me is gonna be mad at older me, but yeah, I mean, like, this is a small bag, because for some reason, when I was a young guy and I saw this movie, I really enjoyed it. Believe it or not, like 12-year-old me enjoyed it. It's because this was the age where rated R movies were taboo. Like, my first rated R movie, we talked about it before. We all talked about it. But for me was Die Hard with a Vengeance. And so
Yeah.
So that movie will always hold a special place to my heart because I could get it on VHS with that blue sticker with the white R on the tape.
Yeah.
It says R restricted, and it's just, it's this was in that same category, right? Where it was like, I'm not supposed to watch this for some reason.
Yeah.
But so younger me's mad at older me, but the movie's not good. Is this a good golf movie since this is the sports retrospective? I mean, it's fine. You said a little bit ago in your popcorn rating that that you enjoyed the golf. You wish you had more. I agree with you. I mean, this movie needs to be more. There was more golf in Happy Gilmore, and that was a comedy. This is a drama, rom-com,
Yeah.
right? Like, there's supposed to be more golf here. I actually enjoyed the golf in this movie. I found it fun.
There was good golf humor in it. The way they talked about the shanks.
Yes,
For instance.
I got the shakes. I got it figured. I said, okay, well, take your shoe off, or
Yeah.
whatever whatever Cheech told him to do. He goes, look, now you look like a fool, so you don't have the shanks no more. It's
what's another good one? Oh, when he's giving a lesson to Dr. Molly, when Roy's giving a lesson, and she starts swearing. He's like, well, you got the language down.
you got the language down.
Perfect.
Oh, and also he said to sway or wiggle, and she's wiggling her butt.
Yeah.
And of course that's fun banter, right? Where all the guys have to look out the window to see what she's doing. And then when Roy's in charge and he has to turn around and tell them to stop, and they go back down again. They hide. Right? Classic fraternity banter, if you will. But no,
He's doing the poem again. Oh, he's doing the
yeah.
thing again.
No, he's telling her to wiggle. Like
Predictable old Roy.
no, Roy, drink. It's just stop that and come drink a beer. No, movie is a small bag. It's not really that good or entertaining.
The same way Ron Shelton did Bull Durham with Kevin Costner, this is the same movie with golf. I think. Right?
I agree, and we tease it. No, we're not going to change our popcorn rating, but if we did, this would be a Sunday morning popcorn rating, right? Like this is like Beverly Hills Cop 3. Turn on the TV and it's on. While you're
You know what? I agree with you 100%. Listen, if I'm turning on a movie while I'm doing laundry and I just flip through the channel, all right, I'll keep this on. If I'm in a hotel room or whatever, in the waiting room at the at the car shop, or I don't know, whatever. This thing's, I'm not. But all right, it's on. That's fine. I'm not gonna complain.
No, yeah, it's on.
I'm not gonna get up out of my seat to turn off the movie.
Yes, you're right. It's a very good Sunday morning, 10 o'clock start time, Sunday morning movie. Just get the gig, just get this to get the day started. I can't talk.
Yeah. I just think that there's a lot of parts where they could have improved upon it, but
Yeah.
or at least improve on that runtime. Golly.
And if the good thing is, though, not to make this longer, is I didn't feel the 2 hours, so maybe that's a good thing.
Well, you felt the 15 minutes afterwards, then.
Everybody, thank you so much for listening to this most recent episode of Movie Guys Podcast. You can check us out at movieguyspodcast.podbean.com. Or if you don't want to go there, check us out at any platform that you have. We are on there for our podcast. Eric, thanks so much for joining me, and we'll be back next Thursday for another awesome episode. Have a good night. I've never had toasted coconut ice cream, but I'm sure it sounds great because I'm a fan of coconut.
I never knew
like
it
coconut.
existed, and I'll just say, okay, sure. So,
Sure. Okay.
so she's digging that, and I am left with this debate. Like, listen, I'm already over it as far as being solo getting ice cream. I'll do it. I don't care. Okay, I'm in it for me. But now the dilemma: do I drive down to the specialty shop, which I do enjoy? It is nice. It's got great ice cream there, but it's like, okay, it's it's like $6 for, or $5-6 for like a small. It's like, it's good, but I don't know if I could. I want more, Now, it could also go to the nearby 7-Eleven and really get trashy. Go into their cooler, get maybe ice cream sandwich, which I'm pretty fond of. The Toll House ice cream sandwich. Oh my goodness, buddy!
Can't complain.
Yeah, it's great. But again, that's like $5 for just an ice cream sandwich. It's delicious. It's like 5,000 calories, but who's counting? Okay.
Who's counting? You don't need it. You're still a twig.
I could eat 5 of them and I'd be all right.